Before the paper, I knew they would say, and I knew by the looks on their faces. Niggas mad cause I did what they wouldn't do, say what I couldn't do. Look, bitch, I made it. I made it. Came a long way from the basement. Body on me, I ain't playing, y'all. These niggas ain't playing fair. If I would've known better, I'd do better. Took some mess and I learned from a new level. Bought some new shovels and some new stressors, and I'm ready for war like whoever. They counted me out, I can't count it all. Cause little nigga, I ball. I put them points on the board every time that I shoot, I'ma score, and you know I'm a dog. I'm really appalled, don't need no applause. I know I'm a legend, my name on the wall. First record with platinum, my second with gold. Did it independent, no deal at all. And they said it's impossible. Got them high cause I did them without them though. I'm the same nigga slept on the carpet floor. Even back then I knew that I'd be poppin', so I really ain't trippin'. I swear I ain't trippin'. I got in my feelings and got me a million. Couple people I thought would be with me, but they not, so it's fuck all them niggas. And then you next.
Hello world, what's good, what's going on with everybody, man? Definitely got a good fight day coming up, man, and we got Stanionis and Jerron Boots Ennis, right? We got Stanionis and Jerron Boots Ennis. I think it'll be a great fight, I really do. I definitely want to give my thoughts, my takes on this fight. Perhaps a lot of people have been misinformed about a couple of things as well. And we just want to talk about it, man. That's it, man. Joseph Townsend, what's good with you, man? What's going on? Jared Green was good with it. Eric H was good. Shawat was good. What's going on? Tay was good with you. What's going on? Yes, indeed. Blessings to everybody, man, for sure. Aunt McQueen was good with it, man. He said, I'm a simple guy. I see Tay Jones making a prediction. I click. Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Honestly, man, this is an intriguing fight for numerous different reasons. It's a total different factors that's going to play in effect to this. I just been, sitting back and just, trying to observe and get a feel for everything. I'm looking at the Vegas odds. I'm looking at the lines, everything that plays into the fight. Especially the fight of this magnitude. We got pretty much the first unification bout at the welterweight division in what let's say 2 years. Beside the undisputed fight that took place 2 years ago between Bud and Errol Spence. So this is definitely the first step in one of these guys becoming undisputed champion, right? Of course, right now, currently before the bout, and the bout is probably going to take place in another 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours or so. Maybe 7 hours, right? But you got 4 champions. You got Jerron Boots Ennis, you got Eimantas Stanionis, you got Mario Barrios, and of course you got the youngest, Brian Oman Jr., who hosts WBO. Barrios, he hosts WBC. Eimantas Stanionis hosts the WBA, and Jerron Boots Ennis hosts the IBF. So it's definitely going to be a high anticipated matchup between these two guys. 2 different styles. One style is, can be a fan-friendly style who likes to bang it out as well. And then you have another guy who is not a boxer. He's a fighter. He comes forward. He has a very, very, very calculated jab. And he stands behind that jab and he shows relentless pressure. I'm not sure how many of you guys ever been in the gym or in the ring when you have someone who has relentless pressure, right? When you have relentless pressure. Some of the tactics I want to talk about, or some of the keys that I want to talk about, is very, very, very enticing, I must say, because me watching Boots, especially for the last 8 months, I've been studying Jerron Boots Ennis. Just been some of the things that he's been doing. and some of the things that I see live as well, right? I'm a person who watch a lot of film. I like to break it down and things of that nature. Both of these guys got very, very calculated jabs. Now, who's gonna pop their jab and get it pumping first? I think both of these guys at the same time is going to establish their jab. Both of these guys are definitely going to try to impose their will and take course of the center of the ring. Whoever can establish that jab and get to the center of the ring first definitely will have the momentum on their side, effectively and early and often as well. So it's just going to depend on who's going to be able to establish that jab early and often. One thing I can say is that a lot of times when I watch film on Jerome Boots Ennis, he established that jab, and sometimes he like to get away from it, in which Eimantas Stanionis, with him applying that pressure, he knows how to get outside of people's jabs. And I think that's one of Jerome Boots Ennis' weak points, is where he's popping that jab and it's fast, it's snappy and things of that nature. But Eimantas Stanionis, him being with that Olympic pedigree, he definitely know how to get on the outside of that jab. Definitely. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching out early and often. What I mean by stepping outside of the jab is not coming straight forward, but he's on the outside of the jab, meaning that if Jerome Boots Ennis is orthodox, he's going to step to his left side and get outside of the jab. If Jerome Boots Ennis is southpaw, he's going to step to his right and get outside of the jab. I've seen Eimantas Stanionis do it on two different type of fighters, and it's going to be intriguing because I want to see who can get there first and establish their prominence in the middle of the ring. But before I get there, we must talk about this because I've been studying Jerome Boots Ennis, and there was something that Eimantas Stanionis said during his fight, during his screening when they had the fighters meeting. This is something that Eimantas Stanionis said.
What do you have to watch out whenever you're fighting a fighter like that switches so often, has good power, has good speed, very confident?
Yeah, he has twitch muscles, and has like combinations. So I have to take a look at that. Everything, yeah, everything. Because he's strong. Back of the head, yeah, punch. Low blows, low blows. That's the thing.
Low
yeah.
blow, rapid punch. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but the game plan is,
Now, Eimantas Stanionis says that, right? Eimantas Stanionis says that. And the funny thing about that is this. I've seen those for myself. I've seen that for myself. Not just one fight, but multiple different fights from Jerome Boots Ennis, right? Like I said before, I do like Boots Ennis. I do like him. And this is before I really just started locking in and studying him, right? And I saw these things, and these things are definitely appeasable in different fights. This is with the Karen fight here. I actually just ran a video on this as well, right? And you can listen to the audio. You see Jerome Boots Ennis trying to dig to the body, but these shots are definitely low, right? And then you can hear the audio and what the referee is saying, right? Just listen to it. So keep him up, pick him up, pick him up. And you hear not only did the referee say it, but the commentator says it as well. Keep him up, keep him up. You're going to start seeing some of these tactics play out through the fight. You're definitely going to start seeing these things come to the fight. We're hitting in the back, and these are the tactics that Eimantas Stanionis and his team are talking about. They understand what type of fight of magnitude it is. They understand what's going to take place and what can and can't happen, right? They understand these type of things. And there's a shot to the hip. There's nowhere to the body, right? You throw these shots to slow your opponent down, but this is definitely very, very blatantly done. Very, very blatantly done. There's a punch to the back of the head. And this is what Stanionis is talking about, the punches to the back of the head. As much as I don't watch this guy, Mr. Gibbs, he said the same shit the other day. The only way he can knock Eimantas Stanionis out if he punch him behind the head. Now, if you go back and look at the knockouts and the guys who've been hurt against Jerron Boots Ennis, there's been multiple guys who's been hit behind the back of the head. Some knocked out, and some, definitely been knocked off balance with back of the head shots. This is not me just, talking. This is just facts. You can go watch it for yourself, you know. There's another hip shot. So these are just some of the things. These are some of the dirty tactics that he does. Right? A lot of people use those tactics, but that is blatantly just done. Although the referee is on the opposite side to where he can't see him, but it's blatantly done. And these are the things that Eimantas Stanionis and his team are talking about. Right? Now, if you just go back to what I just said, if you rewind it, if you're just coming in, you see, Eimantas Stanionis he said it himself. He said, hey, we just got to watch out for these things. And they asked him what he got to watch out for, and he blatantly told you what you got to look out for. He said the behind the head shots, and he also said, the low blows. This right here has definitely been, some of the things that I've been watching. I look at what fight was that? I believe it was the David Avanesian fight. There was a ton of low blows in that fight. The Karen fight, he was warned three times before the fourth round, right? You go look at the Roman Villa fight when he knocked Roman Villa. I'm not gonna say unconscious, but he, had him on wobbly legs, and I want to say that was maybe like in the fourth, fifth round. He came around the guard. It hit him in the back of the head. So you look at the Cussio Clayton fight, he hit him in the back of the head. So, it's just different fights. You see these different things. And I always ask myself, well, is it done intentionally? And it seems like some of the stuff is done intentionally. That's what it seems like. I just showed you where you blatantly see him throwing a shot to the hip, right? You go to the Roman Villa fight, right? And it looks like he's throwing to the body. He's throwing hard shots to the body, but he's throwing it at the hip. These are things that happens. These are things that you can blatantly see. And some people who have their own two eyes will tell you that's not what he's trying to hit. He's trying to hit him in the body. Well, the body is up at top, not down low. So now you got to come with another excuse for that, right? So punching behind the head is something that he said. My guy 817 in the building, what's going on with it? Mensa Moose Lifestyle was good. Was good. D-Man Jr. was happening. So I'm gonna do it again. This is not my words. This is Eimantas Stanionis. This is what he said. And by me doing the research and just looking at some of the things that Boots does, he is absolutely correct.
What do you have to watch out whenever you're fighting a fighter like that switches so often, has good power, has good speed, very confident?
Yeah, he has twitch muscles, and has like combinations. So I have to take a look at that. Everything, yeah, everything. Because he's strong. Back of the head, yeah, punch. Low blows, low blows. That's the thing.
Low
yeah.
blow, rabbit punch. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but the game plan is,
So when you got somebody like that, like I said before, I'm not the only person seeing it. Eimantas Stanionis is seeing it as well. His team got a great eye, and they've been watching film, and they see the same thing as well. So I can't be the only one noticing this, or maybe I am the only one who's noticing this that's actually speaking up, right? I do have a integrity about myself, and I see those things. BFTB in the building, he said, this needs to be called out. He said, but punching behind the head is not getting called seems to be fair. If that, I absolutely agree. Custio Clayton was hit behind the head. Roman Villa was hit behind the head. Karen was hit behind the head. The list goes on, right? The list goes on, right? Again, Boots is a good fighter. Boots is a good fighter, but then you have to act. Well, let's say this: for us, what we've seen so far, thus far, he's been good against who he's fought, right? There was a poll that I saw the other day. It was like his best wins. If you ask me, his best wins are Roman Villa, David Avenesian, and Karen. And you really can't say Karen fight because he had two different opportunities to prove that he can box, and he's failed to do so two different times. Those are facts. You know, not making anything up. Those are facts, and I think everybody in here would agree. People said Karen ran the first time, but here's the catch-22 to that. People said Karen ran the first time, but if you looked at the build up to the fight, you would know that Karen trained to move around the ring. Karen was training to move around the ring. But if you watch Karen before he fought Jerron Boots Ennis, you would know that Karen don't even fight like that. You would know that. And this is why I always ask people, do you really watch boxing? Because I know for a fact that Karen don't fight like that. I watched the build up. I watched Karen last two fights before he fought Jerron Boots Ennis. And so when he fought Jerron Boots Ennis the first time, I was wondering to myself, why the hell is Karen doing this? But then when I watched the build up to the fight, I said, you know what? He did train for this. Now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. And then it comes to the second fight. It looks like Bozy and his, Jerron Boots Ennis, they was prepared for Karen to run again or whatever the case may be. People say running. And this time he stepped to him. Not only did he step to him, he was successful at doing so. He was successful at doing so. People talk about Jerron Boots' power. I think it's more of a volume punching type of power. There was plenty of times where Roman Villa got hit with some hard shit and kept coming forward. There was times where David Avenesian got hit with some hard shit and kept coming forward. And there was definitely a time where Karen got hit with some hard shit, kept coming forward, got knocked down, and came right back to his face. So you really have to question, like, is it really just that power or is it really a volume of accumulation of punches? Me, I'm on the side of where it's more so of accumulation of punches. Eimantas Stanionis, he's one of those guys who's rugged. I do believe that, and it was another clip that I didn't get a chance to clip, but he was talking about, how it looks like he's always come out of war because of his skin. I do believe Eimantas Stanionis does have the type of skin that rips easy, he always, whether it's a 8-round fight, 10-round fight, or the times that I've seen him fight some of the lower round fights, when he first was televised on PBC, to where it looked like he had been in a war. And it could be him, that could be, I know he's pale, I guess you could say Lithuanian white or whatever the case may be. Maybe I'm wrong on how I was put that, but I know he's, Caucasian, but he's Lithuanian. And maybe that's how their skin is. I don't know. But it always looked like he's coming out of a war. And he's a guy who, who have both hands up for us on his defense. And for him to still, come out the way he's looking sometimes, that does trouble and worries me a little bit because, again, Jerron Boots Ennis does have that nice jab. And once he does get it going and flicking, it could be some type of problem for Stanionis because he bruises very easy. And, of course, a high volume of bruising could lead to cuts. 817 said, I think Karen frustrated him by not fighting, and Jerron gave into it and got off the game plan. The second fight, I believe he was chasing ghosts and made it for a fight. Hey, man, I don't know, but like I said before, I'm just going by what I saw, what I've observed. 2 different times he had a chance to prove the world that he could box. And that was a fight that nobody wanted to see, especially for the second time. Not only was it a fight that nobody wanted to see, after that fight, during the fight, you seen fans leaving the stadium or leaving the arena. And after the fight, you seen a lot of fans turn their back on Jerome Boots Ennis as well. Somebody stop me when I'm lying. Hey, man. I'm just telling you what I see and what I observe. D-Man didn't say, you ain't. I've seen it too. Shawar say, yeah, no, we spoke on it yesterday. Absolutely. Greg Carmichael. My guy, Greg Carmichael. I met Greg Carmichael out in Vegas. What's up with you, my guy? Say, Tay, am I crazy for taking Stanionis at 5-1? No, you are not. No, you are not. When you turn that punch over correctly, it breaks the skin. Absolutely. I believe it can too as well. I believe it can as well. Underground Aslam said that's what happened. Absolutely. That is what happened. People, a lot of people was on the boost train and things of that nature, because I am, and I was too. But once you start watching and breaking down these fighters, you start seeing some things like, whoa, you start seeing some things, you know what I mean? You really do. And that's why it's important to watch the film, you know what I mean? For sure. And Walt Willis, what's good with you? Salute. DOG215, what's going on with it? Right? So that's why it's important to watch that film. And those are just the things that I observed. So when I was speaking about Jerome Boots Ennis, people said, well, he got this many minor knockouts, this is third. But you look at, he's only stopped one guy at 147. He's only stopped one guy that was at 147. And that guy wasn't even in the top 10. And that was a guy who everybody didn't want to see him fight because Boots, not Boots, but Bud fought him and nobody wanted to see Bud fight him. And that was David Avanesian. Didn't stop Romain Villa. Didn't stop Karen 2 different times. But you look at all the guys who come up from 140. Sergey Lipius. People would say, look, Sergey Lipius is best win. Sergey Lipius was a 140-pounder who came up to 147. Custio Clayton was a 140-pounder who came up to 147 as well. And we can keep going back, keep going back down as well. A lot of those guys was 140-pounders that came up. May not be their fault. They probably got to pay a little Hampson check or whatever. But he's only stopped one true 147-pounder. So, again, when I say, does the power really concrete or solidify of what I'm saying? He only loses to pressure fighters. I've seen Gary Antoine have him in bad places. And that's not the none. I'm not sure who you are, but appreciate that as well. That's because that's not the first time that I heard that. I almost said the name. I actually had spoke to someone else who was at those fights. Of course, it's amateur, whatever, cool, no problem. But people who told me the same thing as well. Like, he has problems with pressure fighters. So we'll see. All right, Geronimo say he stopped Delorme. All right, now go do your research and see what weight class Delorme started at. He stopped Clayton. Now go do your research and see what weight class Clayton started at. And he literally stopped Villa in his tracks. No, that fight went the distance. Sergey Lipius was a 140-pounder that came up to 47 as well. These are facts. These are facts. Those are facts. Now, on the opposite end, you could say for Butayev, Butayev for, the 47-pounder. Actually, me personally, man, I'm not said Delorme just went 12 with standing a fight before Ennis. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And that's why I was getting ready to get to, right? So you got these two guys who got, some common opponents, right? They got some common opponents. And then I'm looking at what did these guys do to these common opponents. Not that it matters. I'm just looking at some of the coursework and basically of a scale that I saw. Right, based off this scale that I saw. Hey, this guy right here on this side, he fought this, and the third. This guy over here fought this, and the third. And I'm looking at people compare. And my whole thing is, well, you really can't compare who they fought and the manner that they beat them. But it's when people talk about power, both of these guys got some type of power. Both of them. Both of these guys got some type of power. My only argument was a lot of the guys that I seen Jerron Boats in his knockout was 140 pounders that came up. And some of the guys that I saw Stanionis stop was 147 pounders. In the 147 pound division, I believe he has one stoppage, and that's David Avanesian. That was my only argument. That was my only argument. So I had to be like cognitive of how can I present it? How can I say that? So he stopped Villiers with a slow motion punch. Did he stop Villiers? I don't think he stopped Villiers, huh? Did he stop Villiers? Or maybe I mean I don't mind being wrong. I don't remember him stopping Villiers. I do remember him knocking him down. I do remember that. I do remember him hitting him back behind the head. Round 10. Okay. Wait, okay. All right. Let me see. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, if that's the case, he stopped him behind the head shot. The same thing that Stanionis said he had to look out for. Cusio Clayton behind the head shot. Same thing he had to look out for. Same thing he had to look out for. You go to David Avanesian, he was hit behind the head as well. You look at Kieran, he was hit behind the head numerous times as well. All right, you've seen a lot of low blows between those four fighters. You've seen that. So this is the things that now don't blame me for what Stanionis said. For the ones that came in, I'm gonna play you exactly what he said, and you tell me if I'm lying.
What do you have to watch out whenever you're fighting
not
a fighter like that switches so often, has good power, has good speed, very confident?
Yeah, he has twitch muscles, and has like combinations. So I have to take a look at that. Everything, yeah, everything. Because he's strong. Back of the head, yeah, punch. Low blows, low blows. That's the thing.
Low
yeah.
blow, rapid punch. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but the game plan is,
Nah, I didn't say that. He said that. He said that. I didn't say that. He said that. And I can only tell you, if you go look at the footage, it's there for everybody to see. It ain't, I mean, hip shots behind the back, hitting people in the back, hip shots, blatantly throwing to the hip, blatantly throwing behind the head. It's there. It's, it's not me saying it's him, right? But what I will say is this. I believe that this fight is going to come down to some on the scorecards. I think on the scorecards, right? I think on the scorecards, this fight is definitely going to come down to a split decision. You know what I'm saying? Hey. He said you trying to pay the narrative. I can't pay the narrative if he said this. He said it. I didn't say it. He said it. I'm not trying to pay the narrative. Hey, this is what it is. You see it for yourself. Listen to him. Referee say, keep him up. Keep him up. That's it. Keep him up. That's all the referee say. He say, keep him up. Yeah. Just keep him up. That's all. Yeah, the commentator said, yeah, he hit him with a low blow. I mean, hey, I'm not saying this. They saying it. What you mad at me for? What you mad at me for? Hey man, you get people coming here mad at me. I'll try to pay the narrative. I can't pay the narrative. That's what the man said. He said it, not me. See it for yourself. Ain't no narrative being painted. That's what he said. Come on, man. That's what the man said. I ain't say nothing. I'm just looking at what's going on. Unfortunately, I just been studying the man, seeing what's going on. Because I do think the man is a hell of a fighter. I really do. But my thing is, if you're a hell of a fighter, why you got to do all this shit though? You know what I'm saying? And clearly see motherfuckers being hit in the hip. You got, damn, I just hit that motherfucker in the back. God damn, you definitely gonna see that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's crazy. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers get mad. I think it's gonna come down to a split, and that split decision. I think that Boots definitely uh, down the stretch gathers himself. I think it'd be early on close. There's another punch behind the head, right? I think Boots gathered himself to make it down the stretch to a split decision victory. And one of the reasons why I'm saying split decision victory, of course, is a matchroom card, right? So of course, you know how that go. They both champions, so I do think the fight would probably or maybe be scored tight. That's one thing I do think. I do think that it'd be probably be scored tight, down the stretch. But I believe by it being a matchroom card, and if it is that close, it could possibly go to Jerron Boots Ennis. I've been saying that all week, right? Um, do I think that he's a better? Do I think that is a better? What you call that? Do I think that is a better fight? I'm not fight. Do I think that is a do Jerron Boots Ennis is a better fighter? I absolutely do. Absolutely do. I do think that Jerron Boots Ennis is the better fighter. I have taken into consideration from people from Philly who are high on Boots, but they did say one of the things that they've seen him struggle with was pressure fighters. So and one is a major coach that a lot of people know, but I won't put no names out there. But he also said that was when Jerron Boots Ennis was younger as well. So that's credit to Jerron Boots Ennis. So I take that into consideration, but I also take in consideration that I don't think that Stanionis is coming to lie down. The only thing that I can really see that Jerron Boots Ennis definitely has him in the category beaten, no question asked, is the speed aspect of it. But how much of the speed is it really going to use? You know what I'm saying? How much of the speed is he really going to use? Because I know some of those punches, he's going to have to sit down because Stanionis is definitely going to come. Now, will it get to a point where Stanionis is trying to crowd Jerron Boots Ennis? Is that going to be a point in the fight where Stanionis trying to crowd him? That could possibly be a point as well. Could possibly try to crowd his punches so that way he can't get off a lot of steam. And I did say earlier one of the flaws that I see Jerron Boots Ennis has, he allows guys to step outside. He allows guys to step outside of his jab. And when he allowed guys to step outside of that jab, that's when the other guy is a lot of successful. I've seen it different numerous times. That's why I'm saying it, right? Jerron Boots Ennis definitely has the timing, DOG 215. He definitely has the timing for sure. Michael Ray, what's good? What you say? Pressure is probably why he struggled with Gary Antoine. Yeah, and I did mention that. I did mention that. And but again, I did mention that, but also he was younger too. He was you got to take all these into consideration, but he was younger. So, but we going to find out tonight. That's the thing. We're going to find out tonight. So I do believe that it'd be a split decision, but I do believe that Boots walk away with the victory. That's what I believe. Now, By it being a split decision, can it go the other way? It can go the other way. It just depends on what those judges are looking for. You know, I want Boots to win. You know what I mean? I definitely want Boots to win for sure. You know, I'm not hiding the fact that of that. I want Boots to win. Salute to my guy Drew Tight, man. You know you ain't have to, bro. I appreciate you, bro. You know, we good. We good. You know, we good. But I appreciate your family for sure. Appreciate you. But I know I definitely want Boots to win. There's other fights out there for him to get as well. The only thing about it is Eddie Hearn don't want the fight that Jerome Boots Ennis want next. That's the thing. So I got Boots by KO. I mean, the only way I see him KOing Stanionis is if he hit him in the back of the head. That's the only way I see him knocking out Stanionis is if he hit him in the back of the head. Just being honest. Stanionis is first of all, I don't think anybody even know that his Olympic pedigree gets him through some of these fights. First off and for the most. People say, oh, that's the amateurs. Well, you have Olympic pedigree for a fucking reason. I want to see Norman versus Ennis. Well, Frank Smith, who's the CEO of Matchroom, when he was at Brian Norman fight, he told me personally that probably wouldn't be what did he say? His exact words, that wouldn't be a feasible fight for Boots next. That's what Frank Smith. So you got Eddie Hearn who's saying one thing. First of all, Eddie Hearn, again, wanted to pay Brian Norman Jr. $750,000. But what he failed to tell the public that Barrios and Stanionis' initial offers was 1.5, 1.7. Okay, now if I'm Brian Norman Jr. and I hear that, and I don't even name drop and tell the public that or say anything of that nature, I know that I'm automatically getting lowballed. And that's number one. Number two, you have to ask yourself, what has Stanionis and Barrios done more than me? Because we know Barrios was knocked out by Tank. We know Barrios had his face dismantled by Keith Thurman, but he's getting 1.5 initial offer. You had Stanionis, Buativ, Luis Collazo, 1.7. Oh, okay. So that's what I'm trying to tell people. So people they think they know what they be talking about, but they don't know exactly what they be talking about. Because if you was in a position where you was going to get 750,000, but you know these other two guys was paid 1.5 and 1.7 as your initial offer, and you took that, you'd be a fucking fool. I'm just letting you know what it is. I'm letting you know, if you said you would have took that, you would be a fucking fool. In my eyes, you would be a dummy. You would be a fucking retard. I'm letting you know how I feel about you if you would have took the 750. You would have been a fucking retard. You would have been a fucking retard. Oh, I believe I could beat him. I don't give a fuck if you knew how to, if you think that you can beat him or you believe you can beat him. You're supposed to believe in yourself. But I believe that you're a fucking retard. You're a fucking idiot. If you had took that, knowing that these other two guys got 1.5 and 1.7 off the rip, and the only thing you wanted was $1 million. Yes, I'm going to think you're a fucking retard. I'm going to think that for sure. But I'm just telling you what Frank Smith told me. Now, again, he's the CEO of Matchroom, and then you got the voice of Matchroom. Which one you going to believe? I just raised my case there. But I do want to see Boots win. I do think that this is a tough fight. And I won't, even if it's not a tough fight for him, I won't say I won't be surprised if it isn't. If it isn't. I won't be surprised if it isn't a tough fight for him. Now I know people like to talk about the body shapes because somebody just text me and talk about the body shapes, right? Um, somebody says text me and said talk about the body types. Um, I did observe Jerron Boots Ennis. I'm not going. I thought it looked good at the weigh-ins. If you seen him, what's the word? If you seen him in person, you know that Jerron Boots Ennis is a stocky big dude, right? I've seen him in person numerous amount of times. I think that I think that he looked pretty good. I really do think that he looked pretty good. I actually believe that the weight came off very well. He did say he hired a nutritionist. He did say that. But I do question why hire a nutritionist now all of a sudden. That would be my question. Like, well, you hire a nutritionist, but why hire him? Why hire him now? That would be a question for me. You know what I mean? That would be one of my questions. Like, well, why would you hire him now? You know what I mean? They both are established more than Norman Jr. They both are established more than Norman Jr. Barrios got knocked out by Tank, who was a 130 pounder, who fought a 140 pounder, knocked him out. Then he fought Keith Thurman for going up in weight when he was a 140 pounder. So Keith Thurman fought a 140 pounder and he dismantled his face. I be trying to make sense of this shit myself. How much weight you think Boots is cutting? I actually don't. I think Boots is cutting nearly like 20, 25 pounds. But I also believe that he's cutting a lot of muscle too. If you've seen Boots in person, you'll know what I'm talking about. I believe that he's cutting a lot of muscle. But hey, he feels good. He looks good. You know what I mean? He has looked bad before. He has a nutritionist this time. But he did look good. I don't know what people are saying. Did I see him at the weigh-ins? I mean, I don't know what I was supposed to be looking for or what. But like I said before, he did look good to me. He did look good to me. I didn't see. I mean, other than now, it was this one picture. I was like, damn. But then again, maybe it was the shoes. I think he had some. I forget what kind of shoes they were, but it was some big ass shoes, and his legs was just little as hell. And like I said, I've seen Boots in person. He fills out very well. He fills out very well. The only thing that did concern me, knowing that Stanionis is a puncher. If I was Stanionis and I seen that, I'm looking at the physical shape of the midsection. I'm looking at the physical shape of the midsection. He was very, very slim in the midsection. No homo. Pause, whatever y'all want to say. I'm just talking boxing, right? He did look a little light, a little slim in the midsection. He did. I'm just telling the truth. He did. As to where I seen Stanionis in the midsection, if you know Stanionis, well, I'm not gonna say if you've seen him in person, I've only gotten to see Stanionis in person one time. He used to be managed by Deontay's manager, Shelly Finkel, a couple years back. And, when Deontay fought Fury for the third time, Stanionis came to the room. And Stanionis was, he was like this. And I will never forget when he came to the door. I didn't know who he was, excuse my language or, how I'm about to say this. But when he came to the door, I was like, man, some white boy at the door. I ain't know because I just know we had a room full of black people, you know what I'm saying? And Shelly was the only white dude in there. Well, besides him and Coach Jay, I said, man, some white boy at the door. And he came in or whatever with his girl. And Shelly was like, yeah, that's my fighter, man. He's going to be the next welterweight world champion. I said, what's his name, Shelly? Shelly said, that's Eimantas Stanionis. I said, man, ain't no fucking way you 147 pounds. He said, nah, he's 147 pounds. And the way I said it was like, ain't no fucking way you 147 pounds, brother. Brother, you too damn big to be 147 pounds. And He's a stalky guy. If you see him in person, he's a stalky guy. I think he might be an inch or two shorter than Boots, right? But he's stalky. He's thick. No homo. Pause. Whatever y'all say, right? But he's thick. But then when I look at his meg section, because I know Boots like to go to the body. I know Boots love to go to the body. Like I said, sometimes it look like he's going to the body, but it's going to the hip. But Stanionis, he was compact around the mid section. And I know Boots love to go to the mix section. So it was like, maybe now Boots, if I'm Boots, I'm looking at it like, okay, I see he's a little stern around the mix section. I'm going to have to lift him up. Because Stanionis do come in, when he got the high guard, he do come in over his toes, and that can lead to the uppercut. Boots like to throw the uppercut. Boots like to throw the uppercut now. So Boots can't, hey, like I said before, I won't be surprised if Boots did clip him with an uppercut for reaching. You reach, I teach. You know what I'm saying? I won't be surprised. I won't. You know what I'm saying? Because Boots, he gonna throw that motherfucker uppercut. Believe that. And I do think, like I said before, I know. I think it's Geronimo. If I'm saying it right, I know he probably a little mad at me, but hey, I'm just presenting you with what I see. It's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And Stanionis' team picked up on it. But then again, like I said before, Boots is like that now. Let's not act like he's not. He's like that. But we gotta see him come back and make more of what he lost out on, if that makes sense. What I mean by more than lost out on, the fans leaving the stadium, his fans leaving him behind, his fans turning on him after the last fight. We got to see more. We got to see more because you had two opportunities to show that you can box. Two different opportunities that show that you can box against Karen. And it seems as if there was no adjustments because it was the corner, Bozy, Pops was saying, what you doing? Get this guy out of here. How? You see what I'm saying? It's like, how? So it's like I think this is a fight that Boots has to put together. I think this is a fight where Boot has to be dominant from the start. Yeah. I think he has to be prominent and dominant from the start. I think Boots must establish his jab early and often because I know that Stanionis is because that's one thing he prided himself on, right? I would love to see Boots switch up the punching combinations from the southpaw side. I would like to see him switch up the punching combination from the southpaw side. Another thing that I've observed is him using the same combinations being southpaw. Orthodox is totally fluid. So I'm not sure if he's right hand or left hand, but I think people say he's right-handed, but he fights southpaw too. So I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I'm not all in his business like that. But I would definitely love to see, that stuff, for sure. Boots does have to put a statement. I believe he got to put some type. Well, I want to say a statement because he got to look. He got to look. I won't say the part, but he got to look phenomenal, right? If he wins the fight, just basically winning the fight, I'm cool with that as well. I just want Boots to have a better performance that he had, against Karen the last two times. I actually think that kind of, pulled his stardism down a little bit. You know what I mean? I think there was some type of, you can kind of question and gauge Boots right there. That's something that you can question and gauge right there, right? And that's just what I think. But I do think that he wins the fight. I do believe that it'd be a split decision. I won't be surprised if Stanionis was to pull it off. I won't be surprised. Holloman said that this could be a 50. This could be a fight of the year. It's 50-50. Yeah, and that's where I'm at. But I believe that Boots got a little bit more. You know what I mean? I believe that Boots has a little bit more, which is why I'm saying split decision. Boots favor. You know, that's why I'm saying that. Karma Stepper Razor. What's up with you, bro? I'll say if Boots' jab isn't effective tonight, he's in trouble. He also needs to keep up his hands after he throws that uppercut. If he leaves it down, if he leaves it a little too much, yes, he does leave that after he throws his uppercut, he dropped his right hand. I've noticed that in his videos as well, or watching film. I missed a couple because I was rambling. I missed Michael Ray Stanionis did say all gas, no brakes. It should be good. Yeah, man. We just gonna see if you know. Now I will say this: the tactics that Jerome Boots Ennis uses, that Stanionis was speaking about, will they slow him down? Because as before, as a percentage, you know, Boots like to go low, right? Punch to the body, but it goes low. Call it for what it is. It's there. You can go watch it for yourself. We know he like to punch in the back of the head. It's not nothing that I'm saying. He's done it. It's proven. It's there. He likes to punch on the hips. It's proven. It's there. Will those things slow Stanionis down? None said uppercut a dangerous punch when they got no fundamentals. For sure. Say Boots got a nasty uppercut and mixtape Boots tonight. Hey man, hey, you gotta give it to him. That motherfucker dude got a vicious fucking uppercut, bro. He do, and if what's the boy name? Stanionis ain't, you know what I mean? If he reaching over, you know, not reach, but if he reaching and stepping over his toes, putting that chin over them toes, oh, that bitch coming. You best believe that. It's coming for sure. I ain't gonna lie to, because I wouldn't want to get hit with that shit. If you go look, man, listen, if you go look at how he throwing, man, he throwing that shit with bad intentions. For sure. He throwing that shit with bad intentions. Do you know what your muscles actually do? I got books on this. Your muscles start eating themselves when you're not taking all that protein. No, you're right. Absolutely. Well, you know, that's and you know, I got a degree in that field, so I know that. So I think he's trying to preserve his run at 47 with the nutritionist. Just my thoughts. Yeah, that could be it too. Because like I said before, now I think it was Karma. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with her. She say he's looked bad before. People just didn't make a big deal out of it because he was getting stoppages. Yeah, I agree. If she hit it right on the head, I think people just wasn't saying nothing about it. Yeah, for sure. Because again, like I mean, it's not too many people in the boxing game that I say look big, right? I know I'm nothing but 5'8.5", 5'9", right? But I walk around. Well, I used to play college football, so I was like 195, 200, right? But there's certain people I say, damn, he big. You know, now that I've lost, you know, all that weight, I look at certain people and like, damn, he big. Ain't no way he fighting at this weight. Prime example, when I first met Devin Haney, that was 2018 or 2019. I think that was 2018. Yeah, I think I met Devin Haney 2018. It was towards the end of 2018. And he was fighting at 35 then. And I saw him and his father. And it was one of them things when I turned around, I said, oh, damn, that was Devin Haney. And then, of course, it was a little chilly outside in Vegas then. I said, damn, he fighting at 35? Ain't no damn way he fighting at 35. But then when you see him weigh in, you see him big. What's up, baby? Yes, baby. You want some pizza? Okay. All right, give Daddy 1 second. Daddy give you some, okay? So so with that being said, I saw how big and how big Devin Haney was, and you just, you know, for yourself how Devin Haney used to look whenever he saw, you saw him weigh in. Stanionis is a game opponent. Hey, mama. Hey, let me finish. Go over there. I'll be over there. Boots definitely got more skills. So I got to stand by. Like, hey, man, I want Boots to win though, for sure. But like I say, I won't be surprised if it's a split decision win by Jerron Boots Ennis. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. Boots just got to neutralize standing on his jab too. Dude got a heavy jab. And that's something that I spoke on earlier though. Whoever established their jab first and takes control over the middle of the ring early and often, that's going to set the tone for the fight. Now, the pace, I don't know. But for setting the tone, somebody got to set the tone. One thing that I know that Stanionis is fucking great at doing, he knows how to get on the outside of the jab hand. So if Jerron Boots Ennis is southpaw, he's going to step to his left hand side because Stanionis is orthodox. It's going to step to this side. If Jerome Boots Ennis is orthodox, standing in this position, Stanionis is going to drive to his right side. Stanionis is fucking great at doing that. I seen different videos where Jerome Boots Ennis, that's one of his I'm gonna say downfalls, but one of his weakest things is keeping guys from going to the outside of his jab. Stephen Edelmet say, "No, we 5'7". No, you 5'7". You 5'7". That's my weight, 5'8", 204. Yeah, well, shit, I ain't been 204. Peace of you, baby girl. Take me. I appreciate it. Salute that, bro, for sure. Blessings to your family. Blessings to you as well. So give that baby her pizza. I'm gonna give you some pizza. I'm gonna give her some pizza. I'm gonna give her some pizza. The odds makers giving Stanionis no respect, and that's what made me put a little money on Stanionis, man. Like I say, I'll be a fucking fool not to put no money on Stanionis, right? Whether it's split decision victory, a money line, I'll be a fool not to, because you got two. This man is a champion for a reason, right? This man is a champion for a reason. You got to give. I mean, just to have the odds that far apart. That's a little, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be a fool not to, whether it was $15, $20, or $30. You know what I mean? I'll be a fool not to. I mean, shit, with $20, you can put in your gas tank, but hell, some of y'all go to McDonald's, spend $20. So, I mean, I believe everybody in here, I don't think nobody in here doing that damn bad where you can't just say fucking chunk $20. You know what I mean? God damn, man. But I just feel like I'll be a fool not to put some type of money on him. You know what I mean? Even though I want Boots to win, but I'll be a fool not to. But I won't be, but like I say, I won't be surprised if Stanionis did win. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. Or either way, if Boots got a KO, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think one guy has separated himself too far apart from the other. I swear I seen Boots pop off about 50 jabs against Canadian guy in the first round. Yeah. But see, and that's another thing. Both of these guys start early. That's why I keep saying who's going to take control of the middle of the ring first. It's going to start with a jab. Boots don't have, for what I've seen, Boots don't have a fill out round. He's smashing the gas straight forward. He don't have a fill out round. So that what makes this fight very interesting to me, man, for sure. I say I'm 5'9", 5'10", good posture, stood next to Taye's fight. Nah, for sure. Yeah. Boots by close decision, something like 115, 113. Hey, Michael Ray, why you playing? That's pretty much, you know, right there. Or it could be split. I'm saying that or either split decision. I just don't think. I don't know, man. But who knows? This is why it's called a prediction. You know what I mean? This is why it's called a prediction. I don't think nobody should be in their feelings, even though I have one person going at me. But it's just an opinion of a prediction, and I could be totally fucking wrong. Shawai said, I want Boots to win. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I believe we all want Boots to win because we know that fight could possibly make a match between Brian Norman and Jerome Boots Ennis. But at the same time, I know that from the head guy at Matchroom already stated that fight won't be feasible next. So, but I do know Brian Norman is fighting, I think, June or July. He's fighting in June or July. So who knows? And I think Mario Barrios is trying to fight in July as well. But I think he's trying to fight Manny Pacquiao, which I wouldn't blame him. I'll take the Manny Pacquiao fight too. I mean, it's a name, right? But it'd be fucked up if he loses to Manny Pacquiao. Brian Norman in his last fight, look, he's dangerous. Oh, absolutely. I think all these guys especially Mario Barrios to me is probably the weakest link, right? But Stanionis, Norman, and Boots, those they the guys. No matter who wins, Boots or Stanionis, those the guys. So I heard Pat was talking to Khan too. Could possibly be true. I don't know. But it makes sense for Brian Norman and Barrios to go next, simply because you hear Bob Arum stating that PBC and Top Rank could possibly be doing some work together. So it'll be interesting, man. It's something that we you know what I'm saying, we'll see. We'll find out, hopefully coming soon, possibly. And just see what happens from there. Will Brian be at the fight tonight? Nah. Why would he go? Why would he go to the fight when they ain't come to his fight? I'm convinced that Stanionis will win. Boots' opponents have consistently been fighters of a much lower caliber. Brian Norman. Hey, B, what's up, B? What's up, B? Where was we was there, Tay? Told me Brian was getting. Oh yeah. Yep, sure did. I told Greg Carmichael that. You okay, mama? You okay? Want me to rub it? I'll rub it for you, okay? You gotta sit down, okay? All right. He said, "Feed. I'm about to give her something to eat, man." Yeah, I did tell him that. Dada. Yes, baby. I'm okay now. You okay now? I did tell Greg Carmichael that. I said, man, because I think Greg Carmichael was saying that he got to go into a decision or something like that. I said, shit, this shit not about to go long at all. Oh man, I said, what about to go long at all, and it sure didn't. Say, what up, big dog, man? Chilling, man. Stormy B, man, said, I've been with, man, is the video out? The video out. I dropped the video already. It's already out. Yeah, with the jab. Yeah, yeah. Knocked him out with a jab. Yeah, for sure. Yes, indeed. Michael Ray was good. What did he say? I was betting the odds. Bad move on my part. I was trying to tell you. I want me some little money. You know, I want me some little money. I pretty much won back what I spent out in Vegas. So I was good. Let's see what else we got. This shit moving a little slow. I think I answered that one. Let me see. Okay. I say the same thing, Tay. Boots usually don't have fill out rounds. He gets right to it, but will that work for him against him tonight? We will find out. Yeah. It's like I say, it's a lot of different variables in this fight, though. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different variables. You heard Stanionis him say that, you know, what do I need to watch out for? Right? He talked about the behind the head shots, the low blows. And I even showed you the guys the video of, you know, Boots hitting on the hip, behind the back, shit hitting behind the head, everywhere, right? And it looked like it's been done intentional. Not only has he did that in that fight, but he did it in previous fights. I talked about the caliber of opponents that they had. In my apologies, because I thought that he didn't stop Roman Villa, but he did stop him. He stopped him in the 10th, and he stopped David Avanesian. So he has two. If you ask me, David Avanesian was not ranked at the time that he fought David Avanesian. And Roman Villa was ranked because he just had beat Speedy Rashidi Ellis. But I think that Roman Villa is 10 times better than David Avanesian. David Avanesian. And then, you know, you got Karen. And like I said before, people say, oh, Boots a great boxer, but how can you really gauge or how great he is or how good he is as a boxer when he failed to prove that 2 different times against Karen? And then on the side with Stanionis, it's more so like, okay, you beat Butayev, but Maestri, we know Mike Fox pretty much beat Maestri. The only thing that we know that we've seen, and we've seen in the Luis Collazo fight, that was some years back as well, is Stanionis. He's strong, he's very durable. He has a great jab, but he shows relentless pressure. Relentless pressure. We know that, you know, from even talking to coaches who was telling me about, you know, how Boots, you know, struggle against guys who not come forward, but who pressured him a lot back in the day. You know, he's, you know, and again, I listened to it, but then it's like, okay, that was back then. So it's like, how much can I gauge that now? You know what I mean? So it's just something I got to look at. Let me see. I'm going down a little bit more. Man, tonight gonna tell us everything. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You say, shit, I'm excited like we fighting. Yeah, I'm excited. Like I say, this fight has so many different variables to it. But again, like I say, okay, because I know, you know, like I said, I believe it'll be a split decision. I want Boots to win, right? I want him to win because, of course, everybody want to see the Brian Norman Jr. and Boots showdown, right? But we got to get that fucking belts off Barrios. But then again, I won't be surprised if Stanionis pull it off either. So it's like I say, I can see it kind of both ways. That's why I say it's a split decision. But by going split decision, I see it Boots way because it's a matchroom card. You know what I'm saying? It's a matchroom card. But I won't be surprised if Boots catch him with a fucking uppercut because I know Stanionis like to come over his toes. Sometimes he like to reach a little bit. And I won't be surprised if Stanionis, you know, with the relentless pressure, you know, get ahead of him on the points. So I can see it from both ways. You know what I mean? But when I'm looking at these odds and I see Norman say he got 400 on Stanny, when I'm looking at the odds, what don't make sense to me is that both of these guys are champions. So when for me, it comes to What are my pros and cons? My pros for both fighters, my cons for both fighters. Carver say Barrios barrely scraped his way out of the last fight with that belt. Shit, he might fucking run it back. Well, what's the boy name? What's the boy name he fought? Amos, was it Amos? Something like that, I think. She might run it back with him. Ramos, Amos, or something like I forget what it was. But it's like I got to put my pros and cons on both fighters because there's no Ramos, Abel Ramos, my bad. But it's for me, it's like, why do I got this guy minus 600 and some change, but I got this guy over here minus 400, I mean plus 400 and some change, but they're both champions. Like Gregory Carmichael said earlier, they not giving, or I forgot who said it, somebody said earlier, they not giving the other champion any respect on the odds. Decision odds, knockout odds, split decision odds, unanimous. They're not giving him any type of respect. But it's like, but he's a champion. You got to get a champion some type of respect. Personally, I think that if I'm an odds maker, I say that the odds should be between minus 200, 220 to maybe like a plus 204 to 210. Now that's my odds when you be like, okay, well, this guy probably right here gonna probably win. You know what I mean? But when I got somebody that's a minus 600 versus a guy who's also a champion plus 425, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm the odds maker, or if I'm somebody betting, I'm looking at Stanionis to win because of the odds. World Combat Sports, what's good with you? What's going on with it? Salute to you. Said Pac-Man coming back for a payday before it's too late. Yeah, shit, I don't blame him. Is Barrios even willing to unify? I never hear him say nothing. I mean, shit, you're not going to hear Barrios say nothing. You know, never mind. I almost said something. Y'all know how that shit get over there at the other company, man. I ain't got to say too much. Y'all know how that shit get over there. They don't really, you know what I mean? But Barrios not really a talker anyway, though. You know what I mean? He definitely a respectful guy. He definitely a respectful guy. So, you know, hey, hopefully he say something soon. If not, cool. You know what I mean? But Barrio, he's a respectful guy, man. He's not the type to talk a lot. Said Barrios needs to say something. I'm with you. Too much movement going on for him not to say nothing, for sure. Hey, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I was just, y'all know how they get over there sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, you know how they get sometimes. Don't step on it, baby. Don't step on it, mama. Throw a damn emoji out there or something. He's very quiet, very respectful. No, he is for sure. What? I just press it and go in. Yeah. She said, they said you're beautiful. Big B said, what up, little mama? Carmen said, hey, she's beautiful. Damn, baby. Stand up. You're going to knock the computer off. Okay. All right. Say hello, world. Say hello, world. You know what I'm saying? Now you're not going to speak to him? You're not going to speak to him? Mama. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. So I'm about to go ahead and get up off of here, man. But I appreciate everybody checking in. You say you spit her out. She looks exactly like you, man. Man, but I think my other daughter. I think my Come on, mama. Come on, man. Come on. I think my youngest daughter. I think she looks like her mom. Okay. Yeah, I seen that video. Hello, world. But look, man, I appreciate everybody stopping through, man. I'm out, man. Y'all know what it is. We got a big fight tonight, and we're gonna be back right after the fight for sure. I already made plans. I'm not doing nothing tonight. Right after the fight, I'm coming back. So I'm definitely going, but I gotta get the kids situated before it get too loud in here. So with that being said, I'm out. Love, peace, happiness, and hello, world.
Before the paper, I knew they would say, and I knew by the looks on their faces. Niggas mad cause I did what they wouldn't do, say what I couldn't do. Look, bitch, I made it. I made it. Came a long way from the basement. Body on me, I ain't playing, y'all. These niggas ain't playing fair. If I would've known better, I'd do better. Took some mess and I learned from a new level. Bought some new shovels and some new stressors, and I'm ready for war like whoever. They counted me out, I can't count it all. Cause little nigga, I ball. I put them points on the board every time that I shoot, I'ma score, and you know I'm a dog. I'm really appalled, don't need no applause. I know I'm a legend, my name on the wall. First record with platinum, my second with gold. Did it independent, no deal at all. And they said it's impossible. Got them high cause I did them without them though. I'm the same nigga slept on the carpet floor. Even back then I knew that I'd be poppin', so I really ain't trippin'. I swear I ain't trippin'. I got in my feelings and got me a million. Couple people I thought would be with me, but they not, so it's fuck all them niggas.
And then you next.